What's good, my G's? Your boy Snow, Ignorant Gamers in the house. How you doing? How you living? How you gaming? Of course, G stands for Gamers. I want to give a shout out to everybody. If you're just coming to the channel for the first time, shout out to you. Welcome. Mega shout out to all the G's, the IGZ up team. You already know you've been around from however long you've been around, and damn sure shout out to the people who've been with us from the first year to second year and just entering our third year, I guess. We are like at 1.4, almost at 1.5, if those people who are into numbers are following. So we can't do that without you guys. You guys said we should be better, we should be having more subscribers, so I guess you guys started getting people to subscribe. I'm not sure what's going on, but whatever it is, we're very thankful. On to the video. Batman Arkham Knight. Do you guys feel like this is a Game of the Year contender, automatic Game of the Year winner? Personally, I think it's just a great game to own. I think it's a super fantastic game to own if you have already played any of the Arkham games. Even if you hated Arkham Origins, you need to understand something about Origins. One, it's not from the original developers. The original developer's name is Rocksteady. Two, that was a prequel to the other. That's a prequel to the entire story of what's going on. So I'm sorry you played that. However, this is the definitive Batman game until I guess another Arkham one is announced. So you guys should be playing this one. Now, as far as Arkham Asylum is probably going to be the best for everybody because that's what brought everybody to home. Batman across the board, including Arkham Origins, is the game where you feel like the actual superhero character that you are. What does it take to defeat your own self when you're competing against your own self? You gotta make me feel more. You gotta do it better. And I do think that this game has done that against itself. I feel like Arkham Knight has told maybe not the best story, but it competes with the best story told, the best game that told the best story. But then wherever that other game fell short at, this game does it better. So if it's the combat, if it's the controls, if it's the mechanics, if it's the audio presentation, which is amazing here, this is the best in series here. If it's the presentation, if it's those little things that you notice that no one else notices until you point out to them, and for something like that for me is, flow of the game, keeping you aligned with what's going on, having tools to help you stay focused on what's going on, helping you when you feel like you're lost. This game does all that and then some. And again, the combat is refined. In this, you're fighting better enemies, NPCs, than you have in any other series of this game. And I guess the only thing that's probably not as dope, because in Arkham Origins, hands down, them boss fights there, specifically the Deathstroke one is what made everybody like, yo, you seen that fight? Like, everybody was talking about those fights. So I get that. But however, it's just done so beautifully here. Now I will say this though, and this is a negative thing. When you do all that, what's missing? Two things are missing: the Batmobile and Nightwing. Or is it Nightwing, or is it anyway the Batjet? Whatever. Honestly, we all know that the Batjet, in my opinion, I get that people are over anxious and overhyped and they want that Batjet. I really don't care, because if you pay attention to any Batman movie, the one Batman movie, shout out to Michael Keaton, that has the Batjet in it, come on. As a kid, I was super dope and I was hype about it because, he flew up to the moon, he did the Batman logo, whatever. But it serves no purpose. And how you put it in a video game when Batman is the only dude that has a jet? You gonna get the Joker a jet? You gonna get Penguin a jet? You gonna get Two-Face a jet? Like, it's unneeded. You can't Just stop. Don't do it. Now, with that said, you give us the Dark Knight fucking tank Batmobile. Come on. Y'all ain't seen me doing 360s in that motherfucker. Y'all ain't seen me just... First off, the destruction in that game. Oh my god. It got more destruction than Battlefield 4 and Hardline put together. And the destruction is dope. And I ain't talking about the Levolution where you take down a whole building. I'm just talking straight up destruction, B. The Batmobile fucks shit up. Now, I will say this. That this is not nitpicking, and I won't ever take any points away from it. Is it's kind of funny that, you know, while all this shit's going on, that the people who do construction work is always there to repair shit. Like, I guess the firemen didn't have they didn't have a safe pass, and the cops didn't have a safe pass, and if you are anyone other than a crook, you didn't have a safe pass. But let the buildings get destroyed. Those guys must have been making some money. Scar, you know, Scarecrow, whoever must have been paying these dudes top dollar, because I would break shit and come back and break it again, and then 20 hours later come back and break it again. But that's besides the point. With that said, this year, I mean, there is a large setup happening this year where I feel like we haven't had... I feel like this is the first year that this is happening for this generation, where the games are ridiculous. The lineup is ridiculous. And, you know, I have this thing pulled up right here. Let me just bring it out. Where, you know, they're talking about the GameStop 50. I guess these are games that are like coming out. And there's a lot of shit coming out that can automatically propel it. And I'm gonna close this video up right after I make these statements. You got Fallout 4, which automatically commands. And the thing about me calling out Fallout 4, you can argue about what I'm about to say about Batman being it's his fourth game in the series, you know. But that automatically can command Game of the Year material, you know. Then you got Battlefront. That might just be fanboyism, not by me, by other fanboys talking about how great it is. We still got to play it, but automatically, being that it's running on the Frostbite engine, this makes it worth something. It's an unknown date for this. I don't want to talk about any of that. Naruto never has a chance to be Game of the Year, but Metal Gear Solid, another heavy hitter. This game for Konami is like GTA for Rockstar. When it comes out, motherfucker, watch out. The problem is Metal Gear Solid always has an opportunity of being Game of the Year when it comes out. It's not always the case for GTA. No matter how much we just throw it in the conversation, we know the real deal. But Metal Gear always is in that conversation. Assassin's Creed, no. The Division is coming out next year, so it won't factor. You get what I'm saying? I think there was one Mad Max. I do not see that doing anything. Halo motherfucking 5 Guardians. It's either going to be an extreme title where the shit's going to do epic numbers and be in the talk, or it's going to be Halo 4. And to me, Halo 4 was a great game, but the community is either going to bash this game or they're going to ride behind it. And I know these guys, they're going to not ride behind it. From what I'm seeing, this community is starting to split. The OG dudes versus the new dudes, and then there's some dudes that's in between that understands progressive stuff. I'm going to see if I can get RZA to talk about why Halo 5 Guardians is gonna get eaten alive by its own ecosystem. Granted, he is the Microsoft whore. He may not do that video just because I'm asking him to cannibalize his own shit. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, whatever. How many times have we already seen the bullshit between them? The last two Call of Duties, Ghosts and Advance, you know what? Fuck them. We're off that. Then you got Rise of the Tomb Raider. Quite possibly, because people slept on the last one, quite possibly could do it too. Could possibly do it. And now you have next gen graphics. It was easy to kind of dismiss this one last time it was around. They had to, I mean, the whole story behind this game, the franchise, the reboot was crazy. So anyway, we know we don't talk about the elephant in the room. Need for Speed is going to be a great card game, but it's very hard for a card game to win Game of the Year. The only way I can see this even being in that just consideration of it is if it's actually Underground 3. You know what I mean? If it's Underground 3 and the best of everything else that we love about Need for Speed, it's the only way it's going to work. I believe Star Fox Zero, if it does make it out this year, it's not doing it. Tony Hawk Pro Skater is not doing it. XCOM is not going to do it. Although XCOM 2, the other XCOM before this was, I think it was in that conversation. Forza Motorsport 6 is not going to do it, but it's probably going to be a really good game. Let me see. I don't know what to say about Rainbow Six Siege, but that's also coming out this year. You guys right here are on some Madden shit. You're definitely not getting thrown in the mix. And who else? Just Cause 3. Now, here's the fucked up thing about Just Cause 3. You see this date right here? Every time a game comes out in December, I believe the Game of the Year awards is around this date, and I don't know the calendar this year. So there's a game, Far Cry 3 is a game that suffered this fate. And why developers who have games like this still just try to come out in December? Because when your game is in that conversation, it raises the sales. So I don't know why they're choosing December 1st. I do in a way know why. I mean, you're fighting against so much people in November and even October. It's a large fight. So I don't know. We're at 2K. You guys are starting to become on my Madden shit list. That's the elephant in the room. FIFA is FIFA. Rock Band. If Rock Band wins it, that'd be hilarious. Shout out to Yoshi. Shout out to my homie Critical. I know you looking for this. This is going to be Critical's Game of the Year right there. And guess what? He's not wrong. But that's my thing. So back to this Fallout 4 and the Batman 4 statement that I was making is one thing and one thing only. You have to be the best in your game, in your series. And then it can't just seem like it's just like, okay, well, we're supposed to fix this, so we fixed this. We're supposed to fix that, we fixed that. Our fans asked for this, so we fixed that. It's got to be the overall experience. Now, I just told you about what's coming out. Witcher 3 is out right now, and all my friends that are playing Witcher 3 paused to play Batman, ran through Batman. 40 hours is not necessarily ran through Batman, but I found out that 40 hours for them is running through Batman. Why? Because they already have 180 to 220 hours clocked in on The Witcher 3. And they can't get away. These guys are doing everything in The Witcher. These guys are playing Batman, got through the story, did as many of the side quests they could do so they could pick one of the two protocols to actually end the game. And they're like, okay, cool. And then they go back to The Witcher. And they even conversating about it. So I don't play The Witcher, so I can't tell you that. But people who I trust their opinion, and I know they're not trolling and they're not defending and being fanboyisms, these guys are really saying like, yo, there's not really anything coming out down the line that they feel can destroy what The Witcher is already doing. The only thing that a few of my guys say is probably Fallout 4, because the change in that game could be so exponential, which means it can outdo Fallout 3 and even triple it. Which Batman, even if you don't count Origins, you just count the aura of Origins and you follow up to Arkham City, even though it's the best in the series, it may not be the best to beat out the best that this year has to offer. I hope your pockets are ready, because mine's aren't. Anyway, tell me your feelings about what I just said about Batman being a great title, but maybe not winning Game of the Year this year. I still think you should play it. And let me know what's your thoughts about what's about to happen this year, or if you feel like The Witcher was overrated for you, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, your boy Snow, Ignorant Gamerz, and I'm out. Peace.
Nice work. Really held your own just now. I'm impressed.
You can carry him. You can carry him. You can carry him. You can carry him.